What if everything we know about history is wrong? From an iPhone found in a 2,000-year-old tomb to alien skulls locked away by governments, these ancient discoveries make no sense. Unless someone or something was helping us. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at our past the same way again. Hidden inside Peru's Metropolitan Museum sits an object so puzzling, it's been quietly called the Galactic Disk, and it might be the strongest evidence we have of ancient contact with the stars. This circular artifact is more than just stone. It's eerily similar to the structure of our Milky Way galaxy, with spiral arms, a dense core, and a symmetry that feels almost intentional. The kind of symmetry you'd expect from a civilization with an intimate understanding of space. But here's the kicker. This disk is thousands of years old. It predates telescopes, satellites, even the idea of galaxies as we know them. So how could its creators have modeled the Milky Way with such uncanny accuracy? Some researchers suggest it was made by an ancient Indian civilization, pointing to old Sanskrit texts that describe cosmic structures in poetic, yet oddly accurate detail. Others say it's not a representation of the galaxy at all, but a map, a literal star chart, or worse, a top-down view of an alien spacecraft. What makes the galactic disk even more mysterious is its precision. The etchings aren't random. They show intentional alignment, curvature, and layering that hints at advanced tools, the kind no known ancient culture should have had. Then there's the silence. No government has taken official ownership of its analysis. No mainstream museum guide talks about it. And yet, independent researchers flock to see it in person, only to leave with more questions than answers. If it truly is a cosmic model, then it forces us to ask who or what gave these people knowledge of the universe they couldn't possibly observe with the naked eye. Could it be remnants of a lost civilization, one that reached far beyond Earth, or had help from those who did? In 2010, a team of Swedish deep-sea explorers stumbled upon something that should not exist. Lying 87 meters below the surface of the Baltic Sea was a massive disc-shaped structure. So strange, so precise, it instantly drew comparisons to the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. They called it the Baltic Anomaly. Measuring over 60 meters in diameter and nearly perfectly circular, the anomaly rests on what looks like a landing ramp, a 300-meter stretch of seabed that appears scorched, as if something heavy had crash-landed or descended slowly. But this is where things get even weirder. Divers who got close to the object reported their electronics shutting down. Phones, cameras, even lights, all dead. Then came the symptoms: headaches, nausea, fevers lasting for days. One diver even described it as being microwaved. Chemical tests revealed that the structure was made of a metal alloy unknown to the researchers. Geologist Steve Weiner publicly stated this was not a natural rock formation. Then, silence. The OceanX team's findings, photos, and even sonar scans were quietly scrubbed from public databases. Rumors swirled that Swedish and Norwegian authorities seized the data, and the site was suddenly declared off-limits to civilian divers. Why? What was found down there that needed to be buried again, literally and figuratively? Some say it's the wreckage of a Nazi superweapon. Others believe it's part of a lost civilization, or an alien craft that landed millennia ago and was slowly swallowed by the sea. The most chilling theory, that the object is still active, emitting electromagnetic pulses powerful enough to fry modern tech. And here's the twist. Years later, official scientists would come forward, calling the anomaly just a rock. Case closed, right? Except they never explained the tech malfunctions, or the diver sickness, or the fact that none of their studies, if they exist, were ever peer-reviewed or publicly released. The Baltic Anomaly remains one of the ocean's most compelling secrets. A secret someone seems desperate to keep. In the remote wilderness of Siberia, inside Denisova Cave, archaeologists uncovered a relic that rewrites everything we thought we knew about prehistoric humans. A 400,000-year-old bracelet, perfectly crafted, smooth, symmetrical, and made from chlorite, a material not native to the region. Even more baffling, it has a precisely drilled hole, likely used for threading. But here's the catch. The hole was drilled with what appears to be high-speed rotary tools, something mainstream science says didn't exist for another 390,000 years. The bracelet belonged to the mysterious Denisovans, an extinct hominid species discovered only in recent decades. Scientists once believed these ancient humans were primitive nomads. But this artifact paints a very different picture. One of artists, engineers, and thinkers far ahead of their time. Imagine a prehistoric society so advanced, they not only shaped jewelry from foreign minerals, but polished and finished it with near-machine precision. Who were they really? Were the Denisovans just an evolutionary offshoot? Or were they the last remnants of a lost civilization with forgotten technology? This isn't just a random find. The bracelet was discovered beside the finger bone of a girl, raising even more questions about what kind of culture or status she may have held. Experts still struggle to explain how a nomadic people, thought to be technologically behind Neanderthals, created something this refined. It's a quiet but powerful piece of evidence, one that suggests we're missing a huge part of human history. If the Denisova bracelet was possible 400,000 years ago, what else have we completely overlooked? In the shadowy forests of Bulgaria's Rhodope mountains, a man claimed that a vivid dream led him to dig up something straight out of science fiction. A small, pale skull, unlike anything seen on Earth. Oval in shape, lighter than human bone, and weighing just 250 grams, the so-called Rhodope skull has 6 unusual chambers inside its head, believed by some experts to be part of a sensory system, not for hearing, not for sight, but something else. It looks almost like it belonged to a creature designed to perceive reality differently than we do, a being with 6 eyes. The skull was found buried next to a small metal object and immediately drew attention from Bulgarian archaeologists and ufologists alike. Their verdict: we've never seen anything like this. Some believe it's proof of extraterrestrial life. Others say it's from an extinct species, one we never recorded in our evolutionary tree. But the real mystery isn't just the skull. It's what happened after. Before any international experts could examine it in detail, the skull vanished, gone without a trace. No photos, no lab results, no follow-up. The original finder, silent. Was it stolen, hidden, or confiscated? Whatever it was, it shook up the scientific community, and the internet did what it always does, filled in the blanks with speculation. Secret programs, black ops, even government cover-ups. All that remains is a story, and a few grainy images. But for many, that's enough to ask the big question. Was this just an unusual animal skull, or the closest proof we've ever had of an alien life form? In the surreal landscape of Cappadocia, Turkey, where ancient caves and underground cities dot the terrain, a strange photo surfaced online. A statue, humanoid in shape, wearing what looked eerily like a modern astronaut suit. The image exploded across Facebook, Reddit, and conspiracy forums, claiming the statue was 3,000 years old. Users pointed out what looked like a helmet visor, control buttons on the chest, and boots straight out of NASA's playbook. But when researchers tried to trace the artifact's origins, things got murky. No official museum held it. No excavation records mentioned it. Reverse image searches led nowhere. Was it an ancient relic hidden from the public, a deliberate hoax, or a modern sculpture made to look old? What's certain is this: the fascination it sparked was real. People want to believe. They want to think ancient civilizations had contact with beings from the stars, and maybe they left behind more than myths. Even if this astronaut is a modern fake, it reflects something deeper, our collective curiosity, and the nagging feeling that history may be far stranger than we're taught. In the flood-prone plains of southern Siberia, archaeologists made a discovery so bizarre it was nicknamed the ancient iPhone. But this wasn't a piece of lost technology. It was a jet-black belt buckle, roughly the size and shape of a modern smartphone. Encrusted with mother-of-pearl, turquoise, carnelian, and jet, a gemstone formed from fossilized wood, the object was found in a 2,000-year-old Xiongnu burial site beneath the Cyan Sea. The design, sleek, the construction, impossibly advanced for its time. This wasn't just jewelry. It was a status symbol, a statement of cultural power. But what makes it even more compelling is that it was discovered in a region dubbed Russia's Atlantis, an archaeological site that's only accessible for a few weeks each year when floodwaters recede. Some see the resemblance to a smartphone as pure coincidence, but others argue it's yet another example of out-of-place artifacts, ancient objects that seem to mirror modern inventions. Could ancient people have glimpsed a version of future technology? Or were they mimicking devices passed down by a civilization we no longer remember? The artifact has been officially classified as a belt buckle, but to many, it's a physical echo of something far more mysterious. And if this is just one find from a hidden world beneath the waves of Siberia, what else lies waiting to be uncovered? Deep in Bosnia's Zavidovici forest, half buried in the earth, lies a massive iron sphere, perfectly round, 5 feet wide and weighing several tons. Researcher Semir Osmanagic, also known as the Bosnian Indiana Jones, believes it's evidence of a lost civilization, one with the ability to forge and shape iron long before the Iron Age began. Mainstream scientists say it's likely a geological formation, a concretion formed by natural sedimentation, but Osmanagic isn't convinced. He argues that the sphere's material makeup and perfect symmetry are too advanced for nature alone. Why would ancient people carve a perfect sphere out of iron? For what purpose? And how would they even do it without blast furnaces or modern tools? The mystery deepens with Osmanagic's claim that the sphere could be linked to Bosnia's controversial pyramid structures, massive angular hills that some believe are actually man-made pyramids buried by time. Critics dismiss it all as pseudoscience, yet the sphere remains untouched, unexplained. Decades ago, similar spheres were destroyed by gold hunters, believing they held treasure. Could this one have survived because it was never meant to be opened, but preserved? Whether it's the product of nature or a relic from a forgotten civilization, the Bosnian sphere challenges what we think we know about prehistoric Europe. It might just be the stone clue pointing toward a story that's never been told. In the deserts of Peru, archaeologists uncovered a skull that defies logic. Not just elongated, which is unusual in itself, but containing a metal implant fused directly into the bone. The skull was found in the Andean region, where ancient cultures practiced cranial deformation, binding the heads of infants to elongate the skull. But this one was different. Embedded within the cranium was a small metal plate. And here's the most shocking part. The bone around it had healed, indicating the individual survived for a long time after the surgery. In other words, someone in the ancient world performed successful cranial surgery with metal, and it worked. Experts are divided. Some, like anthropology professor Danielle Kurin, believe the surgical technique is real and points to a sophisticated knowledge of medicine. Others, like John Verano, are skeptical, questioning whether the implant was added later or fabricated. But the evidence is hard to ignore. The metal alloy used in the implant doesn't match anything typically found in the region, and its placement, aligned with known cranial pressure points, suggests intentional design. Who were these ancient surgeons, and where did they learn to manipulate metal and bone so precisely? Could they have stumbled upon advanced medical techniques? Or were they inheriting knowledge passed down from a much older, possibly forgotten, civilization? One thing is certain. This skull forces us to reconsider how advanced the ancient Andeans really were. If they mastered brain surgery thousands of years ago, what else have we underestimated? In 2017, beneath the sands of Nazca, Peru, the same region famous for its massive geoglyphs only visible from the sky, researchers made a chilling discovery. Mummified bodies unlike any human ever recorded. The beings had elongated skulls, no visible ears, and only 3 fingers on each hand and foot. Their bones were thin, their rib cages oddly rounded, and their skin was covered in a strange white powder, possibly for preservation. Scientists from Russia's St. Petersburg University examined one of the specimens, named Maria. The DNA, human-like, the structure, totally alien. Each mummy reportedly had 23 pairs of chromosomes, just like us. But their physical makeup was completely different. Were they a different species of human, genetic mutations, or something? Not from this planet at all. Adding to the mystery, researchers also discovered Vavita, a 9-month-old infant with the same traits. Alongside Maria and 4 smaller male mummies, the case became one of the most hotly debated archaeological finds in recent memory. Russian scientist Konstantin Korotkov stated, "They look human, but they are not." His team theorized that the beings might be remnants of a lost race, possibly connected to the Nazca lines, giant symbols etched into the earth, which some believe were meant to be seen by sky visitors. Yet despite multiple CT scans, DNA tests, and physical evidence, mainstream science dismissed the mummies as a hoax or as deformed human remains manipulated after death. But here's where it gets suspicious. The mummies were quickly locked away, international research requests denied, and access to new samples restricted. If this was just a hoax, why the secrecy? Why shut down the investigation so suddenly? Were these truly mutated humans? Or did they represent something much older, much stranger, and much more inconvenient to explain? Until full transparency is allowed, the three-fingered Nazca mummies remain an open case. A case that might one day rewrite not only Peruvian history, but all of human history. In 2016, a private collector purchased something extraordinary. A perfectly preserved praying mantis, trapped in golden amber. And it's estimated to be over 30 million years old. Found in the Dominican Republic, the insect was in pristine condition. Delicate antennae, tiny spikes on its arms, and even the color patterns of its compound eyes, all frozen in time. It wasn't just the mantis. The amber also contained click beetles, plant fragments, and even insect droppings, creating a snapshot of an ancient ecosystem that once thrived on a forest floor tens of millions of years ago. Why does this matter? Because this kind of preservation challenges our understanding of time, evolution, and fossilization. And here's where it gets interesting. Researchers have discovered similar amber specimens containing entire baby snakes and extinct creatures previously unknown to science. Some are over 99 million years old. The idea of extracting ancient DNA might sound like Jurassic Park fiction, but this real-life fossilized world is teaching us that nature's time capsules hold more secrets than we ever imagined. Who knows what else is trapped beneath the tree sap of time, just waiting to be discovered? So what do all these discoveries have in common? They challenge the story we've been told. A bracelet crafted with machine-like precision 400,000 years ago. Skulls with metal implants. Mummies that don't quite match our species. And an alien spacecraft at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Each artifact alone might be explained away, but together they form a pattern that suggests either an advanced ancient civilization once walked this earth, or we were never really alone. The truth? We're only scratching the surface. So now it's your turn. Which discovery blew your mind the most? Was it the Galactic Disk, the Nazca Mummies, or maybe that ancient iPhone? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your theory. And if this video made you question everything you thought you knew about history, subscribe for more weekly deep dives into lost civilizations, unexplained artifacts, and forbidden knowledge. Hit the like button to help this video reach others who are just as curious. Because history might not be written in stone. It might still be buried beneath it.